Episode 5, Solo in Seattle. So this is a text message that I received from a longtime friend of mine. We've been friends for more than, probably at this point, 28 years. So I'm going to read it out to you guys. Hey, Solo in Seattle. I'm having some moments these last few weeks, like, what the fuck am I really doing? I feel so damn selfish for it. Because on the outside, I should be the happiest, luckiest girl ever. But inside, I'm not in love. Content? Yes. But what in the fuck am I doing? We are going to be celebrating our 10-year anniversary coming up, and I could care less. Who else feels this way? Has anyone hit that 7-year itch, they say? That point where you've spent a few years together, you've overlooked nuances, you've adjusted your life, you've adjusted your schedule, you've become hidden. You're not seen. You're not heard. You just exist. That's what I get from this text message. And of course, I know backstory. I know a significant amount of details. They're not in conflict. There's no issues. They're just existing. So for her to ask herself, what is she really doing, is not uncommon. We've all done it. But when you say it out loud, does it hit differently? What are we all doing? I know I came to this point in my marriage. I definitely came to this point in my last relationship. I definitely felt extremely selfish for building a business, for becoming successful, for getting a degree, for taking off, for surpassing my income that I never thought I would see. But what does feeling selfish actually mean? Don't you deserve that? Don't you deserve accomplishments? Don't you deserve to be rewarded for hard work? For not only commitment to your relationship, your marriage, your family, but your actual life, something that you took your time to achieve. We feel selfish for that. I too feel like I should be the happiest, luckiest girl ever for all of these wonderful experiences I get to have, for this awesome business that I achieved. But I'm never fulfilled either. I'm always hungry. Even my son says that. He says, Mom, you are always one step ahead. Mom, you're always hustling. But inside, I was not in love either, with either my husband or my ex. For a very long time, I was absolutely, positively content. It was familiar, it was easy, and I had already set the tone publicly. Why would I change that? Why would I disrupt that? Until I actually removed myself from that environment and asked myself, what the fuck was I doing? So I returned home in this last relationship. The first one, I didn't say anything. I just left. Yeah, that was interesting. Anyways, the second one, I returned home to a shell of a relationship. It was really hard. It was really hard to deal with in the end. It was really hard to see your best friend exit emotionally, mentally, and physically. And those words were even said to me. We've been friends for this long. Why should that change? No, sir. You don't get access to me. So you have to ask yourself, what are you really doing? How is it that you can turn towards your partner and reconnect? What does your communication style look like with your partner? Do you just feel like you exist in their world? Or are you a part of it? Do you feel like you're heard or seen? Or do you feel like you're looked past? And how do you confront that in a gentle way that doesn't create conflict? How do you take a step back from reality and how you feel to counter how they feel to come to a common place? It's hard. I have my master's degree in counseling and couldn't counsel my way out of this breakup that I recently went through. That's a hard pill to swallow. But it was a mutual separation. It was done semi-amicably, and we agreed to no contact. Or I don't even know how it happened, but that's where we're at. It doesn't really matter. You have to start asking really hard questions to get the answers you deserve. For example, I asked, when did you fall in love with me? How did you know? And we went down a series of memories that were sweet, that were vulnerable. And then I asked, when did you know that you fell out of love with me? That one, I had to pull out. That one was hard to hear. Knowing that once you are no longer in love and you have made that decision in your mind that you're leaving, it's hard to recover from that. It can be done if you're willing to put in the work. We were not willing. There was absolutely zero fight left. That hurt. He even told me at one point, when I told you I was ready to leave and you didn't stop me, that confused me. Because he thought that I was just going to say bye. And when I didn't, and I tried to recover whatever I thought could have been left, the counselor in me, and it was met with resistance, that hurt. So what I'm getting from your text message to me is hurt. And I'm using my personal experiences to give you that raw advantage of recovery. Being able to recover from the hurt. You have to put forth the conversations and start them. For whatever reason, we have to take the lead. For whatever reason, we have to make the first move. A healthy confrontation of why you're having some of these moments and some of these thoughts. How can you redirect the conversations to make you feel validated? And if anyone who's also listening to this podcast is in the same scenario, halfway in, halfway out, content, worried about what the world is going to think, worried about what social media is going to say, oh, trust me, I was slightly concerned with the blowback because I had such a public-facing relationship. Everyone thought I had found my perfect match, the man of my dreams, Prince Charming. And for a little while he was, I'll admit that, until he wasn't. Until our value systems did not align. That's a deal breaker. You have to stop that before it starts. Because if you and your partner do not have the same values or likeness of values, it's going to be very challenging. You will be met with resistance nearly every step of the way. There's no way that you and your partner or your husband can be a united front if there's no common thread of conversation of where you can align. There's definitely no peaceful confrontation when there's a value system disruption. So that's what I get from reading your text message, is there's a disruption somewhere. Somewhere in the breakdown of communication, something isn't aligning. And there has to be some sort of gentle confrontation, conversation, willingness to tease out the details. Not being in love is rough. Being content is rough. Living every day in the same exact routine is rough. Every day we woke up next to each other for almost a decade. Every day we went to sleep next to each other for almost a decade. But there was such a lack of intimacy. Definitely a lack of sex. So you have to find your way back to each other and build on that. Because complacency builds resentment. And once resentment is there, the he said, the she said, the you did, the tit for tat. There was tons of tit for tat for sure. Where's the accountability, right? Who's accountable? That's not tit for tat. That's facts. So I challenge you maybe to do a to-do list. Dial back that decade. Go down memory lane and compare and contrast how the two of you have grown individually, together, and apart. And see if any of those things intersect. See if there are any moments in time where there is a disruption in the flow. At what point and at what time did you notice the road curved? The path was less traveled. The miscommunication started. Did you start ignoring each other? Did you start making plans without the person? Oh, we were queen of that and king of that. It became such a normal thing that we stopped texting each other where we were at. I look back at the text thread and there's huge gaps where you can see the failure of the relationship. It's a pretty sobering timeline of a breakdown of communication. You can see where the two of us just didn't care. And that sucks. Because you can watch your downfall. So, when you ask yourself, what the fuck am I doing? What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? How can you do it? Can things change? Do you want them to change? If you had an opportunity to course correct, what would that look like? Do you want to be a unit? Or do you want to be single? Me personally, I chose single. I love it here. I feel at peace. I'm thriving. It's so quiet here. The energy is beautiful. My son and I are able to be creative. We come and go as we please. What does that look like for you? What does peace look like for you? How do you get back to you? How do you find yourself? When you think of yourself, do you see one person, the two of you, or your family system? We're talking about choosing your identity and what that looks like. So outside of having these moments, questioning yourself, feeling selfish, looking on the outside, taking a little peek in, not being in love and acknowledging that, acknowledging contentment. What makes you happy? Is it being free? Is it not having the burden of gender roles, responsibility, being the caretaker, the point of contact? the director of the house. That shit is exhausting. For me, do not recommend. 10 out of 10, do not recommend. But I knew from an early age, I didn't want that for myself. I just conformed. I just went along with it. And I've got a really bad habit of doing that. So for myself and for you, my listeners, if you're in that crossroad of a long-term relationship and you're wondering, what am I doing? Is it easier to stay? Is it easier to develop a routine that I feel seen and heard? And finding a sweet spot that accommodates your feelings and you don't feel selfish? There's such a delicate balance with that, isn't there? That guilt. Wanting to just have a slice of time for yourself without feeling you're neglecting something else. How do you get past that? Again, I'll use the analogy of the plane. Something happens on the plane, triggers the oxygen mask to drop. You and your family are in the same row. What are you going to do first? Instructions say, grab the mask, put it on your face, and then tend to the party that you're with if you're with someone who needs help. But no, what are we going to do? We're going to make sure everyone else is good while we're lacking oxygen and suffocating, like in our personal lives. Because we are conditioned to think that we're supposed to put ourselves last. How do we change that trajectory? And I'm not talking about be selfish and be like, F it, I'm doing me. No. Like, figure out how to have a healthy family life balance, right? Set aside an hour a day and say, hey, I need to be uninterrupted and do whatever it is that you want to do for that hour. Set boundaries. They're so hard. Boundaries are hard because we're so accommodating, right? We just want to fix. We just want to smooth it over. We just want to make it easy. No. Do you in a way that supports your value system. Figure out a way to love yourself while loving someone else and others. It's like going back to sharing. You know you're supposed to do it, but do you want to? I personally don't. But I'm also, that's a lost cause right now. But history shows if you take care of yourself first, you can take care of others. Eat well, exercise more, sleep well, sleep more. You're less irritable. You're less agitated. You have more tolerance, so they say. I will say, once my environment was no longer disrupted, peace entered. But this is in no way encouraging anyone to leave their partner, do something else. This is simply about you choosing yourself for once. You being able to identify the crossroad where the breakdown of communication is and work towards restoration if there's anything left. You got to do a process of elimination. You have to put in the work to figure out if it's worth it. I personally think that love, if that's what you want, is truly worth it. Being with somebody, if you truly want to be with somebody, is always worth it. But if you know, like myself, to your core, that you prefer to be alone, identify ways in which that will make you happy. I've said it time and time again to my husband at the time, to my ex-boyfriend, to my family, of course. If this last relationship did not work out, I promise you I will be alone. And I know myself well enough to know that is the truth. I do not desire to be with another person in a relationship, in a situationship, none of that. And I'm not saying that if someone comes along, XYZ, and people have come along, I get approached all the time, I'm out. But I let them know, I will ruin your life. I will waste your time. I will probably take your money. And that's just being real. And I know that about myself because I am not interested in commitment. I'm not interested in getting to know you. I'm not interested in knowing about your day. And that's not being bitter. That's just not genuinely caring about nonsensical things to me, because I know myself. I would much rather spend my time doing this podcast, building my businesses, hanging out with my child, and being completely free and uninterrupted. I love it here. And I encourage you to love it where you are. If you're in a committed relationship, work on it, communicate, restore it. If you're in a marriage, turn toward your wife or husband or same-sex partner and touch them, love them, kiss them, hug them. Bring that intimacy back. Bring that sex back. There's nothing like some bomb-ass connection sex. Like when you and that person literally can feel each other's soul. It's beautiful. But you have to be connected emotionally, right? So you have to work on figuring out how to remove the hurt, maybe the resentment, and find your way back to your partner. Because it's beautiful there if that's what you want. This podcast is about and will always be about choosing yourself. There's a lot of thought-evoking messages that not a lot of my listeners' spouses agree with, typically male, and that's okay. I enjoy any type of feedback, positive, negative, neutral. I love it all. So if there's anything that you agree with or disagree with, let me know. If there's something that you want me to expand on, you can find me on all socials, SoloInSeattle. If you have any questions, submit them if you would like my input or my interpretation or my feedback. And as always, thank you guys for listening.